Hello, I'm Green.
And I'm purple.
Welcome back to Green and Purple. We're back playing Jack Daxter today, and I'd like to, just for a second, continue a conversation we were having yesterday about, like channels changing and people...
Not penis.
Being what?
I thought penis.
Why were you thinking of penis?
Because we were talking about penises last episode.
Well, yeah, but
Or balls, specifically.
This is true. They're not the same thing, Caleb. They got different names.
Yep.
You got the penis and you got the jingle jangle.
You got the hot dog and the nuts.
You got a hot dog and you got testicles. What? It's just one person that knows like a bunch of anatomy terms, but like for some reason they never learned one specific one.
Oh yeah.
Like talking about female anatomy, it's like you have the uterus here and you have the fallopian tubes. This is the clitoris and this is the hoobadaba. Someone's like, what? I don't know if you. I don't know if that's right.
Okay, go ahead.
But I understand people like getting, or at the very least, upset whenever like someone's content changes. But I think one of my my least favorite things of people like leaving is not just whenever they're like, oh, this isn't the same, is whenever they're like, oh, this is inappropriate now, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, this channel used to be family friendly or whatever. Like, it's one thing if it's Nickelodeon or whatever, and all of a sudden SpongeBob starts dropping F-bombs. Patrick, you goddamn son of a bitch! It's like, that's some, like, you could be mad about that.
Yeah.
Like, that's understandable. But whenever it's just some guy, like, filming something, like, they can make whatever they want. And, again, it's all about context. If you have someone who's made a channel specifically aimed at children,
Yes.
and then they just start posting, like, adult content, like, yeah. I can see how you'd, like, feel betrayed by that. But whenever it's some, like, I see this a lot on Good Mythical Morning since we were talking about it, it's just like, oh, these episodes are so inappropriate lately. And I'm just like, it was never a kid's show to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, the videos that people say are inappropriate are ones like that, where they're just going and doing something that even, like, vaguely has to do with, you know, dingles or...
And a vasectomy isn't inappropriate.
Well, and it's not like they, like, had, like...
Oh, God!
I don't know what was going on. Blue frog OP. Yeah, and it's not like they were, like, going... Just like, hey, grab my dick! And, like... I think they were pretty tame about how they were discussing it.
Yeah.
But just, like, the mention of, like, any sort of reproductive organ just,
People
like,
freak
sets
out.
people off.
For some reason.
Like, you can have tons of blood and everything, it's like, whatever, but you say the word penis and it's like, this is inappropriate! How dare you!
It's like, that's something that, like, every single guy has.
This is something that half the population has, but you're okay with murder, which a very small percentage of the population has ever done. For good reason.
Because, you know, it's against the law.
It's against law
and morals.
Like, you know, you usually don't want people to kill each other, but, you know, that's just...
They killed him.
Like I told Caleb, I haven't really been playing that much video games lately, and like I honestly feel uncoordinated now.
Well, that's not going to be good when we get to Pikmin.
This is not... Is it my week?
Yeah, it's your week.
I don't know. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Gonna have a major setback. Might have to restart a few days.
No, I'll be fine. I told you, the only time I ever restart is whenever I accidentally leave a Pikmin behind.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I feel bad. But if like a bunch of them die in battle, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Because you can't really avoid that.
No, like, you're gonna lose Pikmin, okay? When you play Pikmin, you're gonna lose Pikmin. It's just gonna happen.
Like, the battles are designed for you to lose Pikmin. Like, they're not...
Especially with the freaking Wollywogs!
Yeah.
Those guys trigger me.
You don't say.
So badly.
But yeah, just... I don't know. Again, I feel like it's a subject we've talked about fairly frequently, but just... The idea that sexuality is, like, so much more inappropriate in our culture than like most other cultures. I feel like. I mean, I think definitely think there's other cultures that are like a little more prudish than we are, but there's also cultures that are a lot more accepting of sexuality, and I think that's a more positive mindset to have.
Like Japan.
Right. It's like,
Go ahead, call me a weeb.
well, I just think it's better in the long run because then you don't have kids who are like afraid of their own sexuality. You know?
Yes.
It's like
hell, Persona 4 had a character that was all about that.
right, and like, well, and even then, like, I honestly think that Japanese people are a little less progressive in terms of like accepting homosexuality. Just because, like, in their culture, you know, there's still quite a big difference between, like, masculinity and femininity.
Yes.
But, like, in terms of just sexuality, like, in and of itself, they're much more accepting of it. Which I think is good because now you have, like, kids who are, like, literally afraid of sex and, like, of having desires and all of that. Which I think leads to a lot of
Issues.
psychological problems as people
Yeah.
go through puberty and just, like, mature sexually.
Your body and you.
Like, you shouldn't be afraid of, like...
Oh god.
Oh, gosh. Well, you remember the book The Giver?
Yeah, I love that book.
How it's like, whenever he started having, like, dreams of
That
one of the
late-
girls...
Yeah.
They, like, gave him medicine, to, like, so he would stop having the dreams.
It's like, no,
bad.
you can't get an erection. That's basically what was going
If I
on
see
there.
you torqued, you're dead. But yeah, just like stuff like that. Like, obviously, like 1984, just kind of taking something and then saying, what would it be if it was completely rampant? But you can definitely see shades of that just even in our lives today, where it's like, you know, you could go and watch Star Wars where they cut people in half and stuff with light swords and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then, like, if Game of Thrones has sex scenes in it, and it's like, this is a very mature show, kids should never watch it.
Like, what? What?
Which I'm not saying Game of Thrones is a kid's show by any means,
No.
but I'm just saying, like, because something has sex in it shouldn't mean it's automatically more adult than something that has violence in it.
I completely agree.
I hit that thing before it went out. There we go.
Oh,
Everything's fine.
be good. Yeah, this is actually a topic that I've talked to with this guy I met online. He's pretty
Right.
chill. We've talked about this like several times, just how I don't know, just the different view. Oh god, that's Frog.
Was he going for it?
Yeah, he was going for it. Frog's OP. He had his tongue on you, but you like got out of there just in time. Just like the different views on stuff like that.
Right. Well, I think you just have to maintain perspective, because like whenever you talk about sexuality, it's like, oh, we don't accept sexuality, and you know, you could say, oh, well, Japan's a lot more open-minded about that, and it's like, yeah, and good for them, but it's like they're also more closed-minded
Yes.
about other things. Like,
Yes.
you can't just, there is no one culture that's
No.
like the most open-minded culture.
Right.
Like, you have, you know, Americans are very closed-minded sexually, and I think that goes for a lot of European type countries, you know.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. And then, but once it feels like as you move east, you have a lot more of the like gender discrimination type thing, like those type where gender roles are still a very big
Yes.
issue for them. Just because, you know, it wasn't. Japan still had an emperor like in recent history, so you know. Whereas America is, at least structurally... Oh, gosh.
There you go.
No,
No.
you have to break them with the yellow, and then you can get them with the blue.
Oh, but don't fall into the swamp.
Yeah.
'Cause that kills you.
That kills people. But yeah, I just... like, you called yourself a weeb earlier, and it's like... I understand your affection for Japan, because you, like, admire their culture. But I think some weebs take it too far.
No, and I completely agree with that.
Right. We've talked about this before.
They do.
Like,
and it's creepy.
it's the difference between appreciating Japanese culture
Yes.
and like obsessing over Japanese culture,
Which
and
I-
like idolizing it.
Which I think that's what's the difference between why my Japanese professor liked me a lot more than most of the other kids in there, because
Right.
she could see that I actually I wanted to learn more about the culture. I didn't think it was like the best, like the bee's knees and stuff like
This
that.
is the best culture that
Kawaii,
has ever culture.
Kawaii Sugoi.
Yeah.
Like, I just had a high respect and interest for it. I just wanted to learn about it.
Right.
Because I'm not saying that Japan. Oh my god! I'm not saying that Japan's like so much better than America or anything like that. I just
Right.
I love and respect certain parts of their culture, and
Right.
I love their language.
Well, I think it's good to like look at another culture and be able to like appreciate things that they do better than your culture, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, recognize things that they do worse than than your culture.
Because I'll even say that I like Japan's school system better than ours, because one thing I like is whenever you change classes, the professors move around, not the students.
Oh yeah.
They stay in the same classroom, and the professors move around, and that feels way more efficient because that's less people in. But then again, their hallways are more tight.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like that just works so much better to have the teachers move around, not the students.
And like we can continue the whole thing of like there's two sides to everything with the school system, because I agree that that's better, but you also have to remember their whole system of like posting everyone's grades after a test.
Yep, that sucks.
Which I don't think is a good, because then you're basically like shaming kids who didn't do well on something. Which is odd, because it's almost the opposite here, where it's like if you have one kid that gets 100 on every test,
everyone hates them.
yeah, I feel like it's more of a negative stereotype than anything, because you're like, oh, what a nerd. But like in Japan, if one kid like
everyone respects you.
it's like, man, that guy gets all the puss, you know?
Okay.
Like, I don't know, they value knowledge there differently.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, that's why I think the most important thing a person can have is just being understanding.
Yeah. Understanding and open-minded. Like, just because you
It's
know one thing one way doesn't mean that you know it the right way.
Right. And there are more than one ways to look at something. Don't just assume because they are different, we should shun them or we should hate them.
Right.
Very carefully. I'll go jump off a cliff now.
Thank you.
Man, this is a deep topic for Jack and Daxter.
Run around jumping off frogs and everything. He was like, let's discuss the problems with Japanese school systems. You must get to that a different way.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, just what different cultures value things differently, I think, is one of the biggest like differences between them. Like, well, I mean, like, let's look at Hispanic culture, like more specific, like Mexican culture. You often see like a lot of like more than two generations of family like living together. Like you have grandparents living with their kids, living with their kids, which you hardly ever see with more traditional American families. It's like, whenever you get old enough,
when you're 18, you get over here.
yeah, like you're old enough, and then you move out, and then everyone just kind of does their own thing. And it's not that like I think Hispanics like care more about their families or anything.
Nah.
I think it's just like I don't know. It's almost goes along with the whole American spirit of like paving your own way and all that. Where it's like they value you being able to do things on your own. We get used to flat.
That old lady shows up. Hey, you think you're so pretty, don't you? How did you get here?
I wish he'd ride me like he ride that flat.
There we go again, making the... It's always the old ladies, so they gotta be creepy.
Look, I just see old women as just... They just want the dick.
Is that how you view my grandmother?
Yep. And our friend Steven that I work with, can he go in there?
Just try it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just real slow. Wait, I think she does live out here. Oh no, it's an old guy. Or is he old, or is he just
He's
drunk?
kind of like a hick.
What was I gonna say? Oh, we just made this random character who's like, you know, Family Feud.
Yes.
She's a contestant on Family Feud, but her answer for every question is just the dick. It was like, name one thing you wish your husband would give you more often. The dick, Steve. But even for like ones where like clearly didn't make sense at all.
Name something that people love eating.
The dick, Steve? No! Or like, what was it? What was it? Just like, name one thing kids do now they didn't do when you were a kid. The dick, Steve? It's just like, what? And like, Steve Harvey's just like getting progressively more annoyed with her.
That's like right up there with the your guys' little Gru thing you made.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we just also it's Gru, but he's like trying to like start a pop music career. So, but he doesn't really understand like what makes a good pop song, so he just listens to a bunch of them and like sees patterns. So he's just like, "Hello to all my sexy ladies with the boobies. How are you doing tonight?" I just love Gru's voice.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Like, I don't know. It's like it's an Eastern European style accent, but it's like done in like a way that like it's supposed to be a bad accent. You know what I mean?
Is he trying to go for like German or Russian or?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be something along those lines, but it's like purposefully bad.
Okay.
You know? This part is a little annoying. Because like you sink in the eco, so you like have to keep moving.
And then you die.
Yeah. Yeah, that. The boobies!
Where are my homies at?
Where are all my fellas at in the club? Going to grind on that dick, yo! But yeah, that's the extent of my humor.
You and Steven make some...
This is what happens whenever you're alone in a cooler for hours at a time. Or just two people in a cooler. I guess
There you
not
go.
alone,
Yeah.
technically. Whatever.
Run into this episode in a bit. We would kind of...
Oh god, I didn't realize how long we were going. Yeah. Whenever we come back, we'll be doing something else. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
See ya!